If you know yourself well enough, quitting may in fact be the right thing to do. Hey, this is Steve, and this is the Career Competitor Coach's Corner. In 1989, a family of five came onto the scene to great applause to become a staple of must-watch TV throughout the 90s, while leading the charge for all animated television that would follow in the decades ahead. The Simpsons were the family that America, and the world for that matter, didn't even know they needed, and quickly became a focal point in pop culture and society. The show had the rare ability to entertain across generations with its wildly diverse comedy that took on everything from just silly, childish behavior to taking astute, topical jabs at the elite and global political figures. It was a show that could, at times, leave 10-year-old Steve in stitches, while at other times have my dad in tears of laughter. It was a show that could do all this. Today, however, it struggles to get a laugh out of just about anyone. 33 years on from its first season, the show's creators continue to try churning out content, but the heights of the show's popularity are almost 2 decades in the past. Fans to this day choose to rewatch content from the 90s over most episodes from this century, leaving those of us traditional viewers that stopped watching the new episodes years ago wondering, isn't it about time you guys just quit making these things already? It's not always going to feel like the easiest thing to do, especially when there is a deep, long-lasting connection. But the truth is that sometimes quitting is the best option for everyone. When I addressed the topic of quitting a few episodes ago, specifically in episode 166, I was referencing it from the perspective that the general population sees it through, one of failure or giving up when times get tough. And while on that occasion, I encourage folks to rebuild instead of quit, I refrain from including the other side of the argument, to quit when it is the right thing to do. There are some obvious examples of giving up something because it's the right thing to do. A bad habit such as smoking, too much fast food, or being glued to your phone for hours before bed. But there is a part of the definition behind the word quit that you'll find in most dictionaries that rarely gets acknowledged. Underneath the better-known components of the definition such as to give up or to depart from, you will also find to set free. This, for me, might just be the healthiest way to look at quitting. When you look at those so-called bad habits I just mentioned, or a popular TV show that stopped being exactly that a long time ago, there is a resistance to relinquish circumstances that appear comfortable. A lot of the time, when you wrestle with something you know needs to come to an end, you find ways to justify or accept things for how they are, before getting back to the same routine filled with the same things that you probably know are not going to serve you and are not going to lead to success. But how would looking at these same situations as opportunities to set yourself free alter whether you would go through with it? Considering the stories of the past 3 years between great resignations and quiet quitting, I could very easily provide a host of stories around setting yourself free from one career to embrace another. But I want to take this definition for quitting and present a perspective through a different lens, one of relationships. One of the most difficult areas of life is when we sense the need to quit on a relationship. If you have ever been in a committed relationship, you might know what I mean. If you are in a position of leadership, you probably know what I mean. If you have ever had a friend, you definitely know what I mean. Whether it's a spouse, an employee, an athlete, a teammate, or an old friend who has become more of a burden than a buddy, you sense it, and you may even know it. You tried everything. You gave them every opportunity, but you just feel that it's time to be set free from that relationship. But what about the relationship with yourself? How many times have you allowed yourself to be the one who suffers because you don't deal with a failing relationship within your life? Or when you gradually began losing sight of yourself because you have prioritized the situation or circumstances of others before your own? I believe that the art of knowing when to quit can be mastered when we decide to prioritize a relationship with ourselves. If setting yourself free from one career for another is the best way to honor you, do it. If telling someone they no longer get to be a part of your team or organization because they are causing resistance in the pursuit of what is right for you, then show them the door. To set free of the things preventing you or those around you from realizing potential is to make a decision that not only serves your best interest, but on an even deeper and potentially more impactful level, it can serve the best interest of those you feel you are quitting on. It can be the wake-up call someone needed. It can be the moment you step into the person you were born to be. It can be the chance for others to assume greater responsibility. And in the case of a once popular family that has outstayed its welcome on television, it's the chance to be set free from the recent decline and allow the nostalgia of the glory days to be what you are remembered for. Then again, quitting just isn't for everyone. Season 35, 36, and 37 were just announced. Dope! Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Career Competitor Coach's Corner. If you like what you heard, make sure you take the time to go ahead and just share it with somebody within your network or even on a public platform. If you're doing it on a public platform and you're on Instagram, make sure to tag me at Career Competitor. I would love to know who's sharing my content so that I can also give you some sort of shout out as well. In addition to that, make sure you are subscribed across any platform that you're listening to the show on. And if you are listening to us on iTunes, take the time to please click that 5th star and leave a rating for us. It really helps with the publicity and sharing of the show. In the meantime, best of luck with the work you're doing and everything within your world. And I look forward to doing this all again with you very soon. Bye for now.